this will work. Maybe I should lock it to twitch.tv/goodstuff. YouTube, boop, boop-a-doo. It's number 85, save that. Maybe I should crop to window for now. I'm not sure about sending my entire desktop to Twitch. Seems a little odd. Good stuff overlay.ping. I could put that on there. Image. Good stuff overlay. Just for fun. Skype I don't need. Alert box, chat box, Logitech camera, there we go. So you can see my lovely face. Ooh. Meta. Just want to see testing the chat room. Oh yeah, that works. Now, I guess it does put out whatever. It's not really cropped to that window. Oop. OBS. So I have to add logic. You won't hear anything. Let's go with this first for a second. Put stuff on the second monitor that I don't want on the stream, maybe. For whatever reason. That. And do the old tweeters. All right. Two viewers watching me pick my nose. Awesome. Okay. Let's switch this back to there. That's Notion. Okay. Audio. I got to find the audio from the recording we just did. Not that. Where are we here? Sessions. YouTube Live. Okay. three tracks. Anyways, soundboard, and let's find those. Drag them into Logic. So what happened if you were watching the U2 stream there at the end? Mason and I were just chatting. He was playing some guitar, or trying to, and I tried to raise my desk up, and as soon as I did that, for some reason it knocked out my internet connection. So that was fun. Not sure why I did that exactly. Okay. So it's just rendering the episode, the recording. I've got, where are we here? The intro music. Throw in here. I don't know why I don't have that in the template, but that's what I do. Okay, let me see here. Where do I need to go? Just want to make sure that you can actually hear the. Hopefully it keeps. Whoa, that's really loud, I think. Working. It's probably really loud for y'all. Let's see. Here, I should have, but.
Sherry and I are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
the left side of the panel is, and the right side is not. Do you at least have a heart on your? Okay. So when I edit, let's go. I've got the recording of the intro there, but I'm going to delete that. Delete. Drag us over for the start of the show. And I need the intro adjusted. Start right there. Sure. Drop that down. If you're watching along, feel free to ask any questions in the chat room. I'll try my best to pay attention, but I might get locked in the zone of editing. Hello, welcome to the U2 Podcast, episode number 85, where we're talking U2 news and tour dates and album news and community discussions from the staff of U2.com. I'm your host, Chris Enns, and I'm joined on this episode by Mason Merritt. Hello, Mason. Not Mason.
Hi.
Not Mason Merritt is here, and he keeps shrinking and disappearing on us because his satellite of love for internet is floating away.
Caught in an electrical storm.
There you go. And Mr. Colin, welcome back, Colin.
Thank you very much.
And you've got a storm as well, apparently, right?
Yeah, well, we need it.
And Sherry, welcome back.
Hey, you and I are rock and roll, my friend.
Yeah, for those watching or those not able to watch, Colin and Sherry are both rocking their what are their shirts called? The megaphone shirt, I guess,
Uncasville,
right?
baby.
Uncasville, Chicago. Somehow they fit Uncasville on a shirt, and
God bless you.
Somehow they fit it on the tour.
Yeah, exactly. We'll cover that in a moment. But when we get to this is Sherry's life of the last month or so. But just in terms of some YouTube news and stuff that has happened over the last little while, actually, Sherry's been our, in a sense, our roving reporter, not paid, by mind you. But first of all, I guess going back in the history archives, you were back. When was the dates of the U2 conference in Belfast that happened? You were at with a bunch of U2 staffers as well who were there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get Scott Calhoun on to give a fuller recap, but it was about 2.5 days of deep dives into the academicness of.
So I should say, if you're confused why they sound like chipmunks, why we all sound like chipmunks, I edit it at double speed, 50% faster, and that just helps me get through it quicker.
Too, looking primarily at pop as pop vision and how it. God bless you.
Somehow they fit it on the tour.
Yeah, exactly. We'll cover that. Two staffers as well who were there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get Scott Calhoun on to give a fuller recap, but it was about 2.5 days. Catherine Owens give a keynote. We had Stuart Bailey who were there 3/4 of us had our hands up. He goes, "Oh my." Because what are the odds that, you got people in Belfast who went to a concert in Pittsburgh in 2011, but we're the type who travel. So that was kind of neat. A lot of the presentations in that are available or will be available on YouTubeConference.com. Yeah,
Beth Navi, YouTube.
Beth
or
was
YouTube
there,
project.
and
Other side of the pond, you got an invite, or won an invite, I guess, to the Bono and Edge's Beach House party.
yeah, it wasn't exactly make its way into the set for the year.
Like it could, if they had to replace something in the show to fit that song in, I feel like that's the "Staring at the Sun" song that they could throw in and just do it that way acoustically. Just to kind of change the message to more of a European message, whereas "Staring at the Sun."
Yeah, Mason, did you work on that on your guitar yet? Have you figured out the intro?
I'll say that for the post-show jam sesh.
Yeah, actually, as a guitar nerd, it is nice to see album review, of course, of his Europa a while back. So I know that more or less the
Thank you very much.
It did look like they were
fairly well.
Just kick things off.
Other than, so Colin, how about you? Any a spot where it got interrupted because the stream wasn't
a lot of color on this tour.
Performing. Not that they've never in such a huge way. I'll agree, right? Like, there's no way to the show. I can skip this one. We all end up portrayed in some of the videos. Then
I believe that he hit the nail on the head with describing it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting turn of phrase for as they used to be back in the day. And speaking for,
they did what by the end of that tour, they were doing maybe.
Where is it here? Didn't even. There's nothing on the screen to tell you really do much with it. I mean, Sherwood Road, Sunday Bloody Sunday until this tour. I feel like that was there. Yeah, I agree. I
it.
Blew some folks' minds with a bit of. I feel like it should have happened already. What's going to happen with Europe? But the other thing we want to mention. So we're planning to have a full episode tour. You don't have to give a recap of every single show, obviously, but just like how many shows of this tour did you see? And it's across 17 cities.
This was Mike Beach.
YouTube.
That was
YouTube
there,
project.
and Angela.
Yeah, very cool. And then sort of coming back to the other side of the pond, you got
the European leg. I know.
Hope they will. I know there's a lot of pent up demand for it. But
days ago over here.
That on your guitar yet? Have you guitar nerd? It is nice to see. Yeah, we'll see. I think it could. I mean, there's obviously we'll see. We won't get into too much prognostication about so. It's as we record today on Thursday, July 5th anniversary, and we're going to be, but also those I actually like it, but for other
it always sounds
textures to discover and just little things to pick. It is impressive for how quickly they recorded it. They got all that. I think that was the tagline for it, right? I'm going to stop this because it's something. There it is. Okay, I'm going to just for this. I think that was the tagline for it, right? That was when they promoted it. Okay, make sure we leave in people laughing at my joke. Always important. Okay, where is it here? All right, for the YouTube roundtable for this episode, we're going to chop that part out. The tagline for it, right? That was when they promoted it. All right, for the YouTube roundtable for this episode, we're going to talk.
It looked like
$1 beach house. Thank you very much.
It did look like they were performing in a
.tv/goodstuff_FM. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching wherever you are in the world. Have a great day. Bye.
Which is why Edge and I have taken up miniature golf.
That's not the right number one. Get rid of that. Grab the intro. So I don't do a lot of, generally don't do a lot of editing for content on this program. Because it's more of just like some friends getting together to talk U2. Other shows I do for clients and stuff, I do quite a bit more editing. Let's throw it there. Intro. Hopefully he's not from Australia. I'm iChris on Twitter, and that's it for this episode. You can find show notes, links to stuff we've discussed, and past episodes at. Thanks for watching wherever you are in the world. Have a great day. Bye. And you know what? Let's just for fun. Stick that on at the end.
Which is why Edge and I have taken up miniature golf. Which is why Edge and I have taken up miniature golf.
So if you're watching, you'll see that there's a little Easter egg.
Which is why Edge and I have taken up miniature golf.
And then the show will end. Okay. Drag that out. You know what? I'm going to change this back to... Oh, it's not to window. None. I'll turn off the overlay just for fun. You can see the dock. Okay. Hello, welcome to the YouTube podcast, episode number 80. Yeah, for those watching, I think that's all good. There was nothing. Didn't make a note of anything anyway. The main thing I edit for is like if there's a lot of overtalk, crosstalk. I actually didn't use the soundboard at all, so I can probably get rid of that track all the way through there. Interviews, you kind of just say stuff.
Straight on.
But
of the show, then the ending, you don't really understand it. It'd be almost like a plot hole, kind of.
And also, I
export all of those. Export them as individual audio files, throw them into a program called Ophonic, which does some leveling stuff. Once that's done, while that's happening, I start prepping the show notes. This is a little bit more convoluted than it needs to be just because we do manage the site through GitHub. This is not how complicated podcasting show notes or episode creation needs to be, but Kyle and I are suckers for punishment. Duplicate that one, 85. I don't know if the video version will work because I stopped it halfway through. Chris on Twitter, Matt. Oh. Twitter.com/notmason. Just get the URLs. Sherry on Twitter. 2 T's and a Twitter. And Colin. There we are. Colin on Twitter. I'm kind of all over the map too while I do this. I realize as I think about somebody else watching this. Get rid of this URL just in case, because that's the link to the last episode. And there was a couple. Oh yeah, YouTube conference. Get the full URL. And Beachhouse. That's it. What should we have for description? Three people watching someone hack their way through a podcast edit. Thank you for checking it out. Unfortunately, all the audio editing part is done now, which is probably the most interesting side of what I'd be doing. Titles. Showbot. Yeah, I'll throw this on the screen here. Bono used up his words, so I'm not gonna. Nope. Come on. Bono's used up his words for 2018. Hey, Caroline. Oh, the font coloring is kind of goofy on here. missed you during the show. If you, I didn't see if you were there, but Sherry, Colin, Mason, and Chris. Recap. North American leg of experience and innocence. Isn't it fun listening to someone talk while they type? Sherry's Beach House show with Bono and Edge, and there. And that's still exporting. Let's go to over to here, YouTube podcast, add an episode. In addition to being suckers for punishment for how we add a podcast, we also basically kind of replicate our work. We have our podcast hosted somewhere else, and the website is hosted in a different spot, which gives us a lot of control over every little step of it. I am using Logic Pro to edit the podcast. I'm partial to Apple, not because of Apple, but Adobe's Creative Cloud model of charging you per month. It kind of rubs me wrong because I bought Logic Pro, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago from the Mac App Store, and for $200 or whatever it was at the time, and haven't paid for it since. So, quick math, 200 divided by 4, I'm paying. Right now, I guess I'm paying $50 a year, but unless Apple decides to change course dramatically, it gets cheaper and cheaper, obviously, how much I paid for it per year, and whereas Adobe's doesn't show signs of getting any cheaper. So I'm kind of happy I went that way, but I know there's folks who swear by Adobe Audition. So no judgment against those folks, but that's why I'm using Logic. Added episode 85. So we push to GitHub for version control. And then we merge that in. Again, this is all more convoluted than it needs to be for the average podcaster. I need my bookmarks bar, so I don't think there's anything too secretive up there. SiteLeaf is where our site is actually published through. The YouTube podcast. Hopefully there's nothing, no state secrets that I'm revealing in here. Oh yeah, the MP3 or the artwork for the episode. I use Pixelmator, $15 imaging app, I think, or $20 or something. It was ridiculous how cheap it was. And does most everything that I needed to do. Instead of Photoshop, I like Photoshop. I use it, but that's the same image as last time. Let's go Flickr. Oh. Isn't that YouTube? Oh. Let's use Ross's photo, maybe. be kind of cool. Usually I put it below, but maybe just change this to black. Get rid of the shadow. Almost nobody sees these. I guess if it's shared on Twitter, then folks see it before I have the video version in there. Save that to desktop. Oops. So that image is just like when it's shared socially. That's what gets shown. Where are we at here? Almost done exporting. How's life in your world if you're still out there, Carolyn? Okay, that's done. Now I drag those files from episode 85. Give it the creatively titled name, episode 85. I have a friend who's visiting Ireland right now, and with her husband, and it's looking gorgeous over there. It was raining over here the whole time she's been gone, which is kind of ironic. Not that Ireland and Amsterdam are the same, or have the I know maybe this is playing on stereotypes, but the bikes, Amsterdam and the Dutch are known for doing a lot of biking. At least this is what the Amazing Race has taught me, because they always have biking related challenges whenever they visit Amsterdam and related areas. But prior to like all the startups that are bike related, did everybody have their own bikes, or was it kind of like community bikes? Was that a thing, or have like the city bike and those kind of startups taken over in Amsterdam as well, where you can just like hop on a bike and then drop it off at a charging station or whatever they're called? I guess not a charging station for a bike, but do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Thanks.
Thanks, says Bono. Actually, I don't know if those are sounds coming through.
Why doesn't Larry and Adam have cool names like The Edge and Bono? Oops.
Average amount of bikes per family is 3.5. It's like a family of 3 or family of 5 would have. More bikes than people. All right. This is the Bike Checkup Podcast. Yeah, I don't do the year-round biking thing here. It's insane, but there are people who do. There's quite a few people who do, and more power to them. But it gets stinking cold. Oh, I guess I shouldn't be asking you about biking then. What's the, what time? Amsterdam. 11:21 p.m. Thursday night. So are you looking forward to the U2's tour coming? When are they? I forget which shows you're going to, but Europe. Berlin, Cologne, Paris, Lisbon, Madrid, Copenhagen. Copenhagen? Which other shows are you going to? I forget. Paris, maybe? Oh, that's, yeah. Man, 4 shows Paris, 4 shows in Milan, 4 shows in Dublin. They're really not going that far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, kind of, 12, 13 cities. So what do they do? 17 cities in North America. Yeah, that's what we were kind of just talking about. Like, there's lots of fans who are like interested in following it every night, but I kind of lost interest too after it was obvious they weren't gonna do anything different. Even if like the end of the North American tour in Uncasville or whatever, and they didn't really do any sort of special send off or the third night in New York or anything like that, they're really not interested in mixing it up. So I lose interest in that. Like, I would go to the shows happily, but over and over just to see it live. But yeah. Berlin, Copenhagen, and Amsterdam. Are you doing multiple nights in each city or just doing one show? All right, that's done. So go find the audio file. I don't think you'll hear this if I play it. Sounds a little harsh, but okay. Save that, close that. Waiting for your friend to come through. Your friend better come through. That's all I'm saying. Tell your friend to Google, if he knows how to Google, Saskatoon. Ask him why U2 hasn't hit Saskatoon yet. It's the birthplace of Joni Mitchell, for crying out loud. How can U2 not come here? Done 85 podcasts for them. Yeah, Audio Hijack. I use that to record the show just because it's in... usually I'm streaming right now to Twitch with a program called OBS, but this program called Mimo is what I usually use to stream with. It's a Mac-only app that allows for a little more Actually, the coolest part of Mimo is that it has, I don't know where my camera went. It has a built-in caller thing, so you can call people, like send out a URL, a special URL, and they can just call into the show with, well, like you know, but anybody else doesn't know, can call in and be a part of the show with just a web browser. Don't have to have any sort of fancy stuff going on. Other fancy software. I guess because I'm using the camera already for OBS, I won't show the camera here. Looks like a lot fancier stuff than what I actually use it for, but that's that. I can send. But yeah, then audio hijack, I record just so I can get them on different tracks. I have my microphone and then the folks who are on the show, guests, whatever. And then also the soundboard on its own special track. Soundboard app. So triggering these.
How do rock stars smell like?
And music. That kind of stuff. Okay, get this. And throw that in there. Make sure that actually works. Sounds a little harsh to me in this upload, so sorry about that. And then I got to go do a quick bit of editing on the video version. Hopefully it worked, but I might have to do some editing on that. So I'm going to turn off the stream for that part because that will be a little messier. And yes, we'll definitely continue doing podcasts during the European leg. We have some European folks, not besides yourself, obviously, but there's lots of people in Europe, for that matter. But yeah, we have some at U2 staffers in Europe who will love to finally have an opportunity to be a part of the show in that sense, to talk about the concerts. And I hope they mix it up a bit, at least in terms of, even if it might be, I'm guessing it'll be the same show throughout Europe, but it'll be a different show than what we saw in North America, I'm hoping. At least somewhat. Hopefully they don't just change one song. But yeah, we'll definitely continue doing podcasts, probably recording a lot more on this time, like Thursday afternoon for me, which is, 11 o'clock at night. We started 2 hours ago now is when we restarted. But somewhere around there anyways is when we will usually record the podcast and yeah, get a more European flavor to the show when U2 is in Europe. Yeah, I was hoping they'd throw. I was listening to Zeropa today, and like, it'd be fun for them to throw something in there beyond Stay. Like Stay would be the obvious, simple acoustic guitar, performance. But hearing Lemon and seeing Mephisto back and thinking back to Zoo TV, Off with the Horns, On with the Show kind of segment would be a little bit of fun to have instead of, I don't know, Europeans would be pretty ticked probably if they didn't get to hear Acrobat, I guess, maybe. If just North America got it, but see what your friend thinks. Do you I guess you might want to remain spoiler free going into it. All right, gotta go. Gotta get some work done for the end of my workday over here anyway. Thanks for watching the stream of me editing a podcast. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. Be sure to subscribe wherever it is up here somewhere. Throw us your Twitch Prime sub if you feel so inclined. And follow I'm iChris, Goodstuff FM on Twitter. And you'll be notified when we go live again. Bye-bye.